This is Logical MGTOW, Logical MGTOW Spock. Of course, again, I'm not wearing my uniform, but I will eventually. Um, this is part two of the video I did yesterday. Uh, logical talk, logical, logical talk, essentially, right? Um, there, I'm gonna start with the fact that there's another video that Mike the MGTOW man, my brother, my MGTOW brother, um, found, which basically I can't find anymore, and he and he did a real cool thing too. He was able to find other videos that this woman did. One was, oh, soft and endearing. Oh, let's feel so sympathetic for this feminist little bitch. She talks like an American, yet she uses the British term in the sense of a television by saying the telly. Uh, there's a aspect to what this woman has said time and time again each time you watch it, that she wants all she wants is a cuddle. All she wants is to come home to a man, right? What would she be doing? The only thing she did not mention, what would she be doing in between work while the guy is coming home from work before she does at times, right? But at the same time, is that the guy is not always going to come home to work before she does. And on top of that, there's not going to be a Mr. Mom. No guy's going to want to be a Mr. Mom in the fucking first place. She may be reaching the age of where women become unfertile, to where they're not able to bear any child or children, essentially. But it's another case of feminism, the current feminist movement and the current Me Too movement, uh, that has completely screwed shit up for women. Of course, women have screwed shit up for themselves in the same aspect. And as I said before in my other video, that women think that they're justified for cheating on us men, like Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon, did to me when I was going with her many years ago. Like Rose Benton, aka Alyssa Benton, that Michael Hager uh, knows, and I used to be friends with this dude by the name of Michael Hager. Of course, there's two Michael Hagers I know. There's, there's two Hagers I know essentially. One's Eric Charles Hager. He's a putz, but I respect him nonetheless because he's a family man. For one, and he's a Republican. And Michael Hager. I used to be friends with Michael Hager. Then he did something illogical just because Alyssa Benton, aka Rose Benton, wanted him to do to her, even though she was supposed to be with me. And he knew this, and he allowed it, and he did it. Thereby, right when I got back home right when I went over to check upon things at her place, this again was a number of years ago. I saw him reaching under her little nightgown thing, that those long shirt type of nightgowns, right? Um, and I opened the door and I was about to fucking wallop on his ass right there. And come to think of it, if I didn't allow her to hold me back, I would have fucking had his ass tumble down the fucking hard fucking cement stairway. In what he deserves. But as the old saying goes, the past is the past. I have not really forgiven him. Although I'm probably care less if I do or don't, really. I haven't, and I won't. I call it the base of, say, malice or whatnot. I don't care. Uh, but it's in the whole aspect. You could say also, it's the base that the way women approach us guys. She could have easily said to Michael Hager, "Oh, I'm not really with him, even though I told him I am. I want to be with you again, Mike. I miss what we had." All sorts of sobs, heartfelt bullshit, which basically all she was doing was using him for her own self benefit. Thereby at the same time using me for her own self benefit. And even though when she kicked me right in the ankle, I would have fucking walloped on her ass. But I was too nice of a guy then not to, and yet my mother was there at the same time. Of course, I know the traffic type public would probably white knight for the bitch. In the case of Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon, uh, whether she has or hasn't told Chris, her current husband, this or not, she probably would turn around and say that I'm doing something or trying to tempt her into something when I'm not, and I have not. Which really, while her husband Chris, was out trying to make some money for both of them, uh, she had me on the phone wanting me to come down there while Chris was gone, and more than likely try to get me in trouble with Chris by saying a lot of shit, some bullshit, saying that I came on to her when really she would be the one coming on to me. This is the type of shit that feminists do. The feminist bitches do this shit. MGTOW brothers and future MGTOW brothers and blue pilled simps. This is the type of shit women fucking do because they think that they can get us to believe anything under the sun that they fucking shoot out by the move of their lips, essentially. Make it sound so true, honest, heartfelt, and sincere when it's a load of shit. They're playing rush. You could say they're playing a game with us because because obviously the female gender has been told that women have been played by the male gender since the 1970s and 60s and maybe a percentage of the 50s. So they wanted the women of the 1990s and late 80s to try to do the same shit to us men. There's no logic in that, though. Even if it is true that that men have done the playing games type of thing to the woman. There's no justification, nor logical thought, no logical reason to basically try to do the female or feminine aspect of a payback, in the sense of repeating the same shit men have supposedly have done to women, that women try to do to men. There's no logic in it, and yet the female bitch doesn't realize that shit. No female bitch across the fucking board doesn't know this. There's no logical reason for it. No justification for it either. So basically, with the fact that not very many men have done the playing games with women in the 1990s, although there might have been maybe a small to moderate percentage of men doing that still. But nonetheless, there were men out there that did not. Yet they were played by the woman. That's where women have fucked themselves over again on. Yet they gotten away with it left and right. Yes, men got away with it in a longer span of time, longer than women have. But the one thing is that women have done it to the points to where nobody, not one man, wants to be dealing with their illogical inadequacies and with the females' inadequacies and illogical bullshit and sinful adultery bullshit and things and whatnot else, right? The whole aspect is simply that women do not know how to do what us men supposedly have done to women the proper way, where women still wanted to be with us men, but they didn't play the fucking game of getting at our resources then, like they are doing, like they've been doing since the late 80s to 1990s, and even within the millennium. Aside from the fact that women have accused the guy because the woman was bored, they didn't feel too happy, they were unsure, all sorts of shit, right? I mean, aside from blaming the guy for something that's not really the guy's fault on the emotional aspect. Women are now doing that still, plus trying to get at our resources. And daddy government, essentially, in the sense of the divorce courts are allowing, in the sense of white knighting for the woman by digging as much as they can get out of the man, and who gives a shit what happens to the man financially, right? Right, daddy government? Right, divorce court jackasses? I was watching Mr. Hate Vicious's video yesterday, and I can tell you he's right. Every bit of what he said was right on the money. You know, even if things were to change in our favor, in the male's favor, women would never change. There's more than an unlikelihood, way more than an unlikelihood, that women would ever change their ways. it's not good enough that thanks to the ERA, which was again the 1970s feminist movement, the one I've mentioned on the first video, of the which would be basically known as part one of the logical psychological talk video of logical MGTOW. It's not apparently good enough for women that the ERA fucking had it to where women were able to go into the working world, had it to where women were able to vote again, had it to where women were able to survive on their own while single to start with. And to where they can share their incomes and eventually become stay at home mothers without committing adultery, while their husbands or fiancés or boyfriends that live with them, that cohabitate with a bitch, fucking goes out to make money for both of them, and puts her, as well as maybe some children if they have any at that point, on his W-2, which basically would increase his wage to a certain extent. Granted, at times it doesn't though. That's the thing. It doesn't always. It will not always increase the wage. He'll be that. Of course, he'll work more depending on the type of job he does, or that he's employed for. But therefore, he accumulates more, not only for his well-being, but also the well-being of his soon-to-be wife, then wife, and children. And again, besides himself, first of all. Seeing that he's the one that's making the fucking cash. It's not good enough for women on that aspect, obviously. That goes to the points to where they go to the points of being unhappy. Even though it was their choice to be stay-at-home mothers, even those who are not stay-at-home mothers still end up to be unhappy or claim to be unhappy and try to blame the guy either way. When really it's not the guy's fault because it's the inside in the inner part of the woman, emotionally and psychologically, and no man can reach in and make that happen. But yet the woman still fucking blames the guy for it. And yet daddy government fucking backs her up on that especially. And it is more than logically true that the prenups are worthless now. You get a prenup, or a female gets a prenup, it doesn't mean shit. But say, for example, if a female gets a prenup, she'll be able to use it. The courts will fucking grant it. But if the guy gets the prenup, they'll fucking use it like what Mr. Hate Vicious says, toilet paper, like a paper, turn it into a paper plane and throw it right in the fucking waste can. Or use it like a little paper type snot rag. Or wipe their dick with it from after ejaculating all over themselves or what have you. I know since the 1990s, many people wonder why are men going in the sense of being with the same gender? Why are women doing the same thing in the sense of being with the same gender romantically? And I think I basically cleared that up, and I'll say it again. It's because of the bullshit that that the opposite gender pulls. And for women, though, it's the fact that their inadequacies in decisiveness and other psychological, non-psychological emotions and what have you, that they're not really strong emotionally and psychologically enough to handle it and deal with it, because they're having to deal with their own inadequacies within them. If there's anything inadequate within the relationship, they can't handle that shit. They can't go, honey, we need to work on a few things. But when a woman does, they want it to go their way. They don't want to go 50-50. They want it to go where it's fully what the woman agrees to, and what the woman has the thought of the way it should go, and the guy would be expected to agree with it, as if he has as if he has no say so or place to put his 2 cents into it. To where it's still agreeable. Because if a woman allows the guy to put his 2 cents into it, then she'll eventually feel that he has more of a say so. He's the top dog when it's supposed to be 50-50. She'll feel that she has no real place in the relationship or marriage. It's all inadequacy, psychological, indecisive aspects, all sorts of illogical, negative shit right there, right? Yet that's another aspect they'll blame us men for, because of the way they feel especially when it comes to something like that. They won't tell you until such time that they go and file for divorce or separation first off. It's not always separation at first, though. It's usually divorce straight on through. Sometimes it is separation. Then if there's nothing that the woman herself especially to start with, and directly only in her mind, if the woman can't figure out a way that the guy would agree to on her behalf, and only on her behalf, not really the children's behalf and not his behalf either, not the guy's behalf, but only on her behalf, then she'll rocket right towards the aspect of divorce. And play the field again, and then try to fucking see if a guy that will simp and blue pill to her way of thinking. As if she has more say so than the guy does. And the guy would have no problem with that. That's the mindset of every feminist woman on this fucking planet nowadays. From the 1990s to now. And it hasn't stopped yet. Many MGTOW brothers may even speculate it may not stop. Because daddy government is too blue-pilled, too fucking white knight for the bitch. Feminist. Even though in the constitutional aspects it's supposed to be 50-50. They're supposed to be favored equally instead of only it being one-sided. But here's the thing though too. Daddy government white knights for the woman, even if the guy doesn't do shit wrong to the woman. Even if she herself feels some sort of unhappiness within herself and tries to blame the man. When daddy government knows it's not his fault logically. What a tangled web the feminists weave. along with the help in white knighting from daddy government. If but if I may just get back a little bit on one thing though, if Chris, Jill Yeaman's husband, is watching this video and Jill's right there telling her, "Oh, he's lying. He this and he that." Guess what, brother? I respect you, Chris, and I do respect women, but I don't do things that I would never do something that's unbecoming of a true male when it comes to a man's woman in the sense of while they're married or even in a relationship. Of course, I know many men that would, but I'm not one of them. So essentially, anything that Jill may have said about me, like, oh, he was trying to get me to uh, have him come over, and so he can do me when you're gone. If she says anything to that aspect, Chris, or anything even beyond that, that tries to get you to try to want to go after me, when basically it's a load of shit of what she said, right? Believe me, this is why I'm MGTOW. Women will say anything to get guys to white knight for them, even though they know it's not fucking true. But they want the guy to believe what the woman says is true when the woman knows it's a load of shit. Sinful shit. Ungodly type shit. Shit that would easily make a woman go and follow her soul when her time is up on this planet to the going to the pits of hell, and thinking that she doesn't have to repent because she didn't do any wrong when she did do wrong and say sinful, judgmental bullshit, which is wrong, a wrongful thing, that is. That's why. That's why. Whenever you see a woman start talking to another guy, even from a distance, right? Then boyfriend or brother or or her fiance or possible new husband will white knight for her and direct his anger towards the other male because he believes her over the other male, when really the male and didn't do a damn thing wrong to the woman, but yet the woman wants the other guy to believe that he did. You've seen it in movies, you've seen it in real life, and that's why you've seen people and guys going at it with fucking just slugging each other or whatnot. Not only on movies, not only on TV shows, not on. I mean, literally, it happens in today's day and age, especially in high schools, colleges, and even outside of colleges and high schools. To all blue-pilled simp men who also want to white knight for the feminist female just so they can get pussy and think that the woman will do anything and everything, even if they walk down that fucking aisle with them. All of what we MGTOW have said and are saying will not change because the female has not changed. All of what we said is more than logical, more than factual, more than completely realistic. And as Mr. C.R.P.H.A has said last night to many blue-pilled simp, even the white knighters, if you walk down that fucking aisle with the woman, and then once you give that woman a ring, it can be an engagement ring or even at times after the engagement ring, the wedding ring, right? They have you. The woman has you. Therefore, they can go on having you pay for shit for them more than when it comes to what you want. If you want to get something like a video game system for teenagers, right? Or if you want to get a scooter or a moped for teenagers and college students, she'll decide against it. Even if you have already gotten it, she'll want you to sell it and get her shit. Even though there's enough room for her on the damn thing to ride on the moped, she'll still want you to sell it and get her shit. Women don't want us men to benefit ourselves. They want us men to benefit them. They call that equality. It's not. In fact, logically, the feminist movement, the Me Too movement, and females all in the same fucking boat, in the same wide ass fucking circle, even the tubbies, don't know the true definition of equality. The true meaning, in easy way of putting it. You blue-pilled simps, white knighters, you need to realize this and more to be true. Women have lost the capacity of logic. And like I said, they can't really logically grasp it because their inadequacies from within. Their indecisiveness from within. The woman. And you notice that that even when a woman asks, "How do I look in this? What do you does my butt look big in this outfit?" Or does this outfit make my butt look big? Or do I look awful in this? Even when we're honest with them, though, on that especially, they end up going to change into something that they feel more comfortable within themselves and for themselves on. Even if we're honest with them on the fact that they look fine in that damn outfit. More often than not, that's exactly what they'll do, though. And sometimes even if they feel it's sincerely true from us, they'll go with it, but yet not really truly feel comfortable with it from within. They'll go with it, but in the emotional aspect. You know what I mean? And yet they don't tell us this, and yet it's almost like it's practically like we're actually supposed to read their minds and sense of thoughts, even when it comes to their inadequacies, indecisiveness, and unhappy aspects and unsureness aspects. Like we're supposed to be like Deanna Troi from Star Trek: The Next Generation, but in the male sense, right? As being a beta Z, right? Of in the sense of being able to read the human thought and feeling. Deanna Troi, played by Marina Sirtis, the one actress I do respect. Aside from the fact that I'm a Star Trek fan. I do respect Gates McFadden, Nigel Barrett, in whom Marina Sirtis considered as like a second mother. And she also, Marina Sirtis also considered Gene Roddenberry like a second father. She even said it herself, I think, at one point. You could say I respect him just because I am a Star Trek fan, but the basic fact is I have every right to respect him even outside the aspect of being a fan. Here's a clincher too. Alec Fleming. He is he simply doesn't know what he wants, just like females, obviously. He claims he does know what he wants, but yet he's not sure how to go about it. The dude thinks that he can do a hiatus away from MGTOW, but yet still consider himself MGTOW. Uh-uh. Once you pull away from a philosophy just to figure something out from within yourself without even thinking the fucking fact that if you're unsure about anything and you're male and you're in part of a philosophy like MGTOW, don't think that we won't be able to help you out, to help you figure out something for yourself and within yourself, because we can. You don't need to pull away from it, take a hiatus, as he called it, or a general vacation or time off or whatever the fuck else, and then make videos in between all that shit, and then at the same time consider himself being MGTOW. It doesn't work that way. Because obviously it doesn't work that way for feminists either, Alec Fleming. And I'm being honest with you, bro. Women, the feminist movement, the Me Too movement, can't the both feminist, the female movements essentially, the two female movements don't want women to take a hiatus or a break away from the movements just to figure something out within themselves as you, like you, when it comes to you and the MGTOW philosophy. You could take a break in the sense of not making any videos to figure shit out for yourself. But the one thing is you can't go to the point of saying that you're taking a hiatus or a break away from the philosophy of MGTOW. Then then make videos in between, and quite possibly without even any notice, you might be blue pilling, and yet you still call yourself a MGTOW member. Or you might be white knighting for a woman, especially, and yet you call yourself a MGTOW member on the videos. Being that you might be blue pilling for the woman while away from MGTOW, the philosophy, and you might be white knighting for a woman while taking a hiatus or a break from MGTOW, the philosophy, in between making videos and not mentioning it one iota. But here's the thing, though, too. This one's for Alec Fleming. We MGTOW members will always support every man who has even been done wrong by the feminist females out there. But if you were to take a hiatus, a break, and or whatever from the philosophy of MGTOW, and without even saying it, you blue pilled for a woman or women, and white knight for a woman or women, and even if you were to say that you didn't, how the fuck are we supposed to know? We're not there with you. Even if you were to make a video of it, you would have it set up to where it would make it look like you're not white knighting. Unless every fucking MGTOW member is there with you. And yes, I know you have traveled within the Roseville Rancho area. And yes, I know how to get around pretty well from even where I'm at. And I'm not going to say where I'm at. You might even seen me in various locations. Who's to say? This would be my 4th video of MGTOW within 2020. And yes, I haven't made many videos of MGTOW, but the one thing, and since my last one in 2019. But the one thing is that I'm not going to take a hiatus or a break from a philosophy just to figure shit out, like a woman. It's either you're with us or you're not. You want to be taking the metaphorical red pill, or you want to be a purple pill or a blue pill all your fucking life. As the woman takes you for shit that you would end up in the street. You wouldn't be able to pay your car insurance, and you wouldn't be able to pay your gas. You wouldn't even be able to pay for your child's tuition. And you wouldn't be able to see your child because you'd be out in the fucking street. As many other homeless people are, even in the state of California as well as other states. Think about that, Alec. On the aspect of branding King, and I'm not making fun of him though. The dude has pulled away from MGTOW, and I've talked to him a little bit, just a tiny bit, really. Just a one short talk, you know. But if he's watching this video, We do hope that I know that we MGTOW members do hope that Brendan King is not blue pilling and white knighting for for the feminist female, because they'll take you for everything you have. They'll bullshit their way through, and everything, even the new information that you, Brendan King, have not heard yet. Believe me, it's out there. So when you're ready, logically and psychologically and emotionally, Brendan King, come back to MGTOW. Be a MGTOW bro. I'm gonna give you guys an example here, okay? Hold on one second. I'm back. Alrighty, I'm back. I'm gonna start with a few things here. You've heard me mentioning, according to Jim, you've heard me mention various other shows too, right? Um, but I didn't mention the actress's name on Mork and Mindy that I mentioned that played the character of Mindy McConnell, who is Pam Dauber. Okay. I know this is unbeknownst of a unbecoming possibly of a MGTOW member to even own, but I'll explain my reasons. Okay. But I'll get to that as well at after this. You guys remember? You know, watching this, right? Fever Pitch. And no, YouTube, I'm not making money off this. I'm just showing this on my MGTOW thing because I own these videos that I'm showing here. Okay, YouTube and BitChute. But MGTOW brothers, if you ever watched this movie with the well-known ET actress and the talk show host, which would be Drew Barrymore from E.T. and Jimmy Fallon, the liberal socialist jackass TV NBC TV host, late night. That character that he plays is a major fucking blue pill, without question. And of course, Drew Barrymore is a true strong feminist, even in the Hollywood starlet aspect. I mean, she's stronger than fucking Jennifer Aniston is on that aspect. She's stronger than Drew Barrymore is on that aspect. What's the truth though? Yet the simp blue pill jackass fucking gives his full aspect to her on this movie, like a blue pilled simp, And what they don't say on this video, on this movie anyway, is that have how long their relationship or marriage, or if at all marriage, has gone. But the end result is she would be able to take him for everything he has, baseball paraphernalia and various other things besides money. Okay, I respect these two guys. Okay, I've respected them ever since high school. The one actor that plays Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar. I respect these two guys. But again, they're another version of heavy metal blue pilled simps. Okay, here we go. Um, MGTOW Brothers. The reason I have these ones that I will be showing is because I was married in 2004. I thought, with the fact that I had comedy movies, sitcoms and shit like that, of DVDs, that I thought, with the fact that my now ex-wife didn't do me wrong like the other bitches did in my past, um, I would do her a favor by getting her these movies. Yet, of course, she did not take them with her because she she had no way of knowing if she would be able to watch them and or play them. Essentially, here's the Sex and the City essentials. Episodes. There's at least about three, if not just two episodes. Let's see. The feminist bitches would know this. The fuck buddy episode. The running with scissors episode. The turtle and the hare episode. Maybe if you, I know, I mentioned it. I mentioned the one that played Carrie, which is on the front cover of this thing. Um, and her friends. I on the sitcom as well as the movies. They the feminist females watch this shit. Okay, I and to better have a better perspective, even a feminist perspective, a feminine perspective as well, of and about men. But yet the real truth is, Carrie and her friends don't know as much as they truly peddle. It's all scripted. Same thing when it comes to the one where it says Mr. Big in the front there, and the cat, and they're titled Second in the City. Carrie ends up with meeting a man named Mr. Big, X and the City, and Heart in New York. I Heart New York, essentially. Those are the names of the show the show's titles, or the labeling, essentially. And of course, well, this is again while I was married. I got these for my now ex-wife, which was my wife at the time. Sex and City 1 and Sex and the City 2. This is still a fairly new movie. They have not made 3 yet. Would I get 3? Maybe as a birthday gift for my daughter's mother. But even with the fact that we're not married, because I'm a nice person. But the one thing is, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say whether. I'm not gonna say if I'd go back with her, even though she may want that. or may not. I don't know, but I don't really care at this point. Those are the pinnacle. That of what I said are the pinnacle of what I mentioned on my first one. Carrie and her friends try to just justify, even in a sinful action, but yet society as well as the female gender doesn't see it as a sinful judgment or even assessment in the sense of sin. And yet, in between it, they go to the points of sexual promiscuities, and then and then try to justify men on that aspect, and even before that aspect, and how they would feel even emotionally and psychologically after. I mean that's all it's been with women though. And then when they're not happy, like Carrie wasn't happy, she blamed Mr. Big. The common female, feminine, feminist bullshit action, judgment, sinful accusation, and judgment all in one. The woman doesn't take any blame towards her feelings one iota. She expects the man to take the brunt of it, take the blame. The woman ends up always to be always blameless, and yet they consider themselves human beings. You cannot claim that you're a human being if you don't take a percentage, even a full percentage, of how much you feel and why you feel that way. And you try to fucking target the guy. When the guy has no fucking true control or ability to reach in your ass and fucking change your and make you feel so fucking negative. It's logically and even chronologically impossible for a man to do that to a woman. But yet, still, the feminist bitch still thinks that she's justified for blaming the bullshit emotions that she has within herself on the guy. As if it's her fault. She didn't do anything that does not go towards the aspect of adultery, that doesn't go towards any aspect of any sinful aspect against the marriage and against the guy, even behind the guy's back. Even in just the relationship way before the marriage, or even outside the aspect of marriage. Women still think they're justified. They're not. You might if you blue pill dumbasses were to fucking say, do you guys feel justified by blaming men for you being unhappy? They'll fucking lie to you and say no. Or some of them will just outright say heartless and say yeah, it's the guy's fault when it's really not. But yeah, even the ones that say no, they really mean within them, yes. Yes, it is the guy's fault. But I'm going to act so innocent and say no. What are your thoughts, MGTOW brothers and simps and future MGTOW brothers? I'd like to hear it. Seriously. For all the things that I've said on this, on when it comes to these and many other movies that I have not yet shown yet, that consist of what I've explained to start. And yes, the Sex and the City movies besides the comedy movie and besides the Wayne's World movie are good examples. So in a way, you could say it's a good thing I have these for examples. Outside the fact that I was married and did something heartfelt for my wife, at my now ex-wife at the time, when it came to these. It it's one thing to feel, for women anyway. Uh, it's one thing to feel unsure. Everybody feels unsure, even the guy. Uh, it's one thing to feel inadequate in some way or another, right? Anybody who's actual a real true human being feels that way. Doesn't matter the gender, and it's not a bad thing. Even though it does feel that way, though, right? It does feel bad, right? But the basic fact is, we men know how to fix the inadequacies within us. Women have not gone to the same aspect of learning of how to better handle shit emotionally. That's why they're indecisive with a whole lot of shit, especially when it comes to marriage and relationships, and whether if they chose the right guy and all this other bullshit, right? Um, and it's one thing feeling unhappy. Everybody feels unhappy at one point or another, but we don't go to the point of saying you're at fault, or he's at fault, or she's at fault, or this is the reason, or that's the reason. Without taking a percentage of blame or fault within ourselves. Because the one thing is, women think, obviously, it's not good for women to take any percentage of fault for themselves and even within themselves. They don't find it too becoming of females nowadays. Even the millennial women think that same fucking way on that aspect. It's not too feminine to take the blame, even in relationships. We should always blame the guy, even though logically it's not their fucking fault. But we want to make it as if it is, and see how many people white knight for us besides daddy government. We should be the ones to be considered and agree with, not the guy. If you remember on part one of this, on the logical psychological talk video, I mentioned that when it comes to a man's say so, the feminist female rather have it to where they decide, or to where the male's choice and what have you else is practically non-existent, right? Think about that. What I just said connects with that. So generally, MGTOW brothers and simps and blue pilled jackasses and white knights, white knighting blue pilled assholes, um, and future MGTOW brothers and MGTOW brothers. All of what I said, even if it doesn't ring true in your head and in your base train of thought, even if it doesn't ring true or doesn't come to you to be an actuality, trust me, it is an actuality of what I said. Everything I said so far in this video is more than 100% factual, 100% true. Even if a woman were to watch this video and be surprised that a guy would ever say something about women. Oh, it's not true. Oh, when they know deep within themselves, if they really took the real logical time to really see that's exactly how they are and how they've been, even in the aspect of relationships. Thereby, like I said in the first one, women are truly not ready for relationships. They want to be independent. They're still not really set and established within themselves psychologically as well as emotionally to be independent. But yet they want to be with a guy to where they can get free shit left and right and still be able to bounce on the cock carousel. Yet the sexual playground is not that safe anymore. But does that matter to the woman? No. It matters to men, and it may matter to the woman when she gets older. I'm talking 30, 40 years of age. But it does matter to men. But those men that don't care one way or the other and and think that they're invincible, it may not matter one iota. But eventually it will once they find that they do actually have the fucking disease. And they will wish that they would be able to rewind their lifespan in time to replay and redo everything like many people do on many different occasions. And it doesn't have to be with the base of relationships or how they feel or how they any number of things really. In the psychological sense of from logical MGTOW Spock here, the basic fact is everything I said is true. Even if it rings differently to you, it will eventually and it can eventually go to the points to where you actually see why I said it and what was the real reason for what I said. Or it could easily ring true right like. Will it ever change? Will women ever change? No one really knows except for Heavenly Father himself. I know many spiritual people will say that we MGTOW are supposed to place sinful assumptions and judgments. Women have done that for a long time now towards us guys. I just start with, and I know in many ways Mr. Hate Vicious and James Von Maxwell and Mike the MGTOW Man and maybe one other person I can't think of his name offhand now. We're not placing judgment. Even though it may sound like it to the fucking feminist female. First off. But women have done that to men, place judgment, wrongful, sinful judgment against us men, even when it's not our fault, logically. Yet the system white knights for the feminist female, even in divorce court. And there's been white knights even outside the debates of divorce court, even while the woman's in a supposed relationship. When really the woman is not really fully established within herself to be in the sense of independent and single. Yet as the biological clock ticks especially, they're not really fully set on that aspect. Yet they keep on wanting relationships because the biological clock is telling them that in some manner or way, or in some aspect or perspective, psychologically as well as more in the mortal sense, and as within themselves, essentially. They want to go to the point of actually having a family of their own. They want to they go to the point of having a life of their own with a significant other. The only aspect to that is that they want the guy to fucking simp blue pill and agree with everything the woman says and does and be okay with it, even if it goes to the point of adultery, obviously. In the sense, even if it goes to the points of what happens on Cheaters, the woman wants the guy to say, "Oh, honey, that's okay," and then she'll do it again and again and again and again. But yet, at the same time, women have an easier chance of getting diseases a lot more than they think. It's not because of the quote unquote weaker gender aspect, but it goes to the genetics, scientific genetics within the human body. I'm not saying that men can't get it any easier, but each person has a different immune system, both genders, but the weaker gender, being in this case the female, has an easier chance. Thereby, they pass it on to their husbands or boyfriends or their new anybody in their new relationship. And even after they do a particular checkup with their physician, at any given point, say maybe months, maybe years after or before, right? After years before that, when they get into a new relationship, they then when the guy does get a checkup, he finds out he has the fucking disease and fucking doesn't know how the fuck he got it. But yet, when the woman does another checkup, guess what? She has it, but doesn't tell the guy that she was involved with, or is still involved with. And the other aspect of that, and the other aspect also, women expect us to be honest, straightforward, and true, and forthright, but yet they don't have to be that with us. Even though they say, if you want me to be this way, you have to be this way too. And then right when we are that way, in the positive psychological aspect, they're completely opposite of that. To where they leave out so much. They jump. It's like the hopscotch. They'll say a few things, then jump over something else they should say, but they don't, and then say a few other things, and then I mean, it's all fucking shit, But yet they expect the guy to do like a racetrack, right through, not skipping over anything. In a sense of honesty, straightforwardness, and what have you else, emotionally, psychologically. So logically, women do not know how to love. Myself and Mr. Hate Vicious agree on that. Women are not fully ready for relationships, no matter how much they may claim that they are, or may say that they are. They get into so much shit, even financially, that they screw up their lives and expect when the guy comes into their lives that they expect things to be repaired like that. Doesn't work that way. If the woman can't fix it for herself that she caused for herself, then there's no likelihood that the man's going to want to go into it and repair it for her. Because the woman will just sit back and do this. While she watches and thinks that the guy is gonna fix shit for her, and yet she'll make more shit difficult and hard for her, and expect a guy to repair it for her because she doesn't feel that she has to do it, even though she's the one that fucking caused it for herself. We men have caused shit for ourselves. We don't expect anybody else but ourselves to fix it most of the time, if not more than 100% of the time. We don't expect a woman to fix our issues and situations of any number, any type. But women expect that of us, men, or daddy government. Essentially, women have wanted a free ride from fucking day one. From the very first existence of man and woman. They wanted a free ride to where they don't feel blameful for shit that they caused that was basically their fault. They want everybody else to have fault that's outside the gender, being the male gender or daddy government. That's not being human at all, ladies. That's not being human on any scale, on any level, on anything you can fucking come up with in your feminist mind, ladies. The basic fact is, psychologically, if women are unwilling to repair their bullshit that they cause for themselves, even financial bullshit that they cause for themselves, then they cannot expect to have a man to do it for them. And they cannot expect to go to the pearly gates of heaven and be forgiven right off the fucking bat when they keep on building more and more issues and start doing more dramatic crap for themselves. And where their inadequacies build up even more and get tougher, where their life gets tougher, right? And then same thing with the base of indecisiveness, and the base of indecision gets tougher. Those are the things that women do more than men do. The reason I say that is because whenever we cause it for ourselves, then we know how to fix it before anything else builds up at times. And at times, even when things start to build up, we gradually take our time to repair it, right? And those that don't know how to do it, we get help from those who we trust. Women don't do that, though. They don't do that. Seriously, MGTOW brothers and future MGTOW brothers, they don't do that. They may claim that they do, but they don't. They may say, well, I don't see how I have to do that when it's not really my fault of the shit that has been put upon me. Oh, really? So every action that a woman does, it's not their fault that shit happens that makes their life a living hell practically, to the point of emotional, psychological field drama. But even if the woman were to have a man, but then when she goes to the points of indecisiveness, unsureness, and unhappiness, the guy has to fix that too, right? Not anymore. It's not going to be that way ever again. It wasn't that way in the fucking beginning. It's not the guy's fault for the woman's indecisiveness. It's not the guy's fault for the woman's indecision. And it's not the guy's fault for their indecisiveness on any level at all. Even if the white knights allow the feminist female to make up shit as they go. Or even as a fucking female makes up shit as they go without a white knight. A blue-pilled white knight. Now that with all that said, I'm still wondering what you MGTOW brothers and future MGTOW brothers and blue-pilled white knights and blue-pilled simps might want to say. And I'm curious of what even Christy O'Misty as well as Emily Emerson may want to say. And the other feminist little bitches. The basic fact is that women will be scared away from that because, like I said, every time I go out, I said this on my on logical psychological talk video, the first one. Every time I go out, women obviously see that I will not put up with their shit. There has yet to be a time to where a woman out there that's not in my family tries to fucking get with me to the point to where it would benefit her more than it would benefit me. But the one thing is, MGTOW brothers and MGTOW and future MGTOW brothers essentially, and you feminist little bitches, I'm not gonna allow that to happen. I'm following the Tom Likas aspect. If I do take a woman out, it's only $40. 20 for me and 20 for her. Hell, I can go 30 or even lower for her. And higher for me on the sense of spending. And then I'd take her to her place and do her and leave. I won't spend the night. Because if I did spend the night, then I'd have, and then of course, as Tom Likas has said, and I know this to be true, the woman would expect me to fucking buy her breakfast. Fuck no. Hell no. I'd be like, looking at her going, I need to take care of something at home. And with that, I'll be back. If that ever came down to it, I would say that. And if she goes, are you sure you promise you'll be back? And I'll be like, what the hell did you take me for? I told you from the very beginning when we first met that I'm an honest person. I can be. I would say, I'm saying that right now, I can be, but I would tell her I'm an honest person. But hours later, with the fact that I wouldn't give her my number to where she wouldn't be able to text me, I would not give her my number to where she would be able to call me. Can I come with you? I know that would be the next one. I'd be like, no, I can meet you somewhere within my general area of town, though. Say hours later, if you want. Then I'd tell her where, like at Starbucks or something, right? Then after that, I'll see you later. Then when that hour comes up that I may say, she didn't see me at all. And yet at the same time, she'll wonder where the fuck I am at, with not knowing where I live, and which would be another plus. Which basically I would have gotten what I wanted from her, or what I felt that I deserved, essentially. Not really wanted plus deserved, essentially. which would be a strong positive thing, right? But she wouldn't see me ever again. I'd be going about my day without even her being anywhere around. Although, I know this to be an actuality, though, too. Many women have more than a tendency to do something to where if they don't see you, even at the meeting place that you say you're going to be at, and at times they don't even show up there themselves at times, though, too. That's another part of it. But when and if they do, they go to the points of stalking you, in the sense of going to that very area to see if they see you at any given point in time within the day that they go in the sense of looking around for you. I can guarantee you, women nowadays do that way more than men do nowadays. Way more. Yet women will say, "No, men do it more than we do." Bull fucking shit. But at the same time, if women can see the fucking fact that I'm too smart for their bullshit and their feminist crap, all much the better. I don't have to deal with their crap. Even if they saw my videos and they have not and recognized me on one of on any number of videos, but decide not to talk with me, hey, all much the better. That just gives me the aspect of saying I don't have to deal with the feminist bullshit, even in the real world. Yes, I know we MGTOW brothers have dealt with the feminist BS on social media, but we're doing it in the most logical way in the sense of letting the blue-pilled simp men out there know, and the white knight blue-pilled fucking simps know the real truth about women and their actions, sinful and other illogical actions, and unjust. Other than that, we wouldn't really care less. I know that for a fact. We MGTOW wouldn't care less. We would just live our lives and stay MGTOW and just make videos at any given point of what we may have witnessed on our outings, what have you else, when it comes to the feminist female and their bullshit, even if we were to communicate with them in any way or for any reason. That's the general fact of it right there. But I will say again, to the blue-pilled simps, you better take what I said on this video and what many other MGTOW brothers have said on their videos, the real true MGTOW brothers have said on their video, take it to heart. Because we will never lie to you blue-pilled men and white knight blue-pilled men. Seriously, take it to heart. Because we will not lie to you. We are telling you the truth about women, and even if the woman is not willing to be truthful about them and their true intentions, in which basically, logically, they won't tell you their true intentions. They'll just hide it from within themselves and only express it to their female friends and coworkers and significant others within the same gender of female, in the female gender, essentially, guaranteed. We men do the same thing, but we do it in a sense where it's more logical than the way the females do it. And again, as I said before, if anybody were to come over to knock on that door, be that a woman trying to sell me something, or a Jehovah's Witness, with the fact not knowing that I'm already part of a religion. I'd talk with them. Just like I said, I would talk to Emily Emerson and Chris Misty, even on video chat. But I would still stay strong in MGTOW, right? And that's the damn truth. I'm gonna still stay strong in MGTOW. I know the proof will be in the pudding, but so far, good, in the positive aspect, that hasn't happened yet. So basically, I could, and although it's like putting people on the spot, but I could do a video on my phone and then add it on the description of the next MGTOW video I do. But believe me, I will let you know on that as well. If and at all if it happens. And right now it seems to be a pretty big if that particular incident, particular thing would or would not happen. There have been in the past where female JWs, Jehovah's Witness essentially, have come to my front door, even when I'm not even married any longer, right? And there have been females coming up to my front door trying to sell me shit. This was, of course, before I knew about MGTOW, of course, granted. This was, of course, before I even became MGTOW full-fledged. But if it did happen again, rest assured, I'm staying MGTOW, and I'm staying as logical MGTOW Spock. Many people could ask me, why do I mention the third name being Spock? Simply, I'm a Star Trek fan. I use the aspect of logic like he did on Star Trek, the original as well as the movies. Of the original cast anyway. You could say I'm doing my way of emulating him in the MGTOW sense, with the fact that I also know psychology, and with the fact that I've helped many people, both male and female, before even starting from before I became MGTOW, with using my knowledge of psychology. And I'm more than willing to help many MGTOW brothers on the same aspect. True MGTOW and new MGTOW brothers. And yes, Brendan King, I can help you out too. Alec Fleming, I'd be able to help you out psychologically. The basic fact is I'd be able to help every MGTOW brother, even Mr. Hate Vicious, Mike the MGTOW Man, James Von Maxwell, the MGTOW Hamster, every other one too. Even Coach Greg Adams, by using what I know of psychology. Call it a humanitarian aspect, with the fact that I'm also a humanitarian advocate, along with advocating for businesses as well as our youth's education and for our disabled and for those in the sense of health and for each citizen across the United States, especially, including the state that I'm in, which I'm not going to say where. But the basic fact is the truth. I will end by saying this. With all the with the fact that we are MGTOW, I ask that each of you watch these 1 and 2. You'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll see another reason why we do what we do, even though we know already why we do it. Aside from our experiences with the feminist female, and I urge you to watch the episodes as well. And I urge you to watch this, and you'll see what I mean on that aspect of what I said earlier about this movie. And I urge you to watch 2 of these movies, Wayne's World 1 and 2. Just to start. The basic fact is, it's the truth. And I urge the blue pillars to see why I said what I said as well. Even the blue pilled white knighters. Because even if a woman were to watch these, they would keep acting the same way they've been doing. And they would try to find what we men and why we men have said what we said and have been saying. And they wouldn't be able to find one fucking indication because they know it within themselves and they don't want to see the reality of things. And also an ending quote, in an ending note, Chris Yeaman yes, I know that you know that I went with Jill. Um, but you know that I've said that she's done me wrong. But yet she probably said that I did her wrong when I didn't. It goes to the points of a female indecisiveness, inadequacies within themselves, dude. In every psychological aspect, it's because of my experience. Is you could say simply that's the reason why I got so deep into psychology, not just to understand myself as well as others, other situations that I've been helping people with, but also to better understand women. You could say that easily. You can even put that as a reason why I'm MGTOW for one. I don't care. But the basic fact is it goes way beyond that. You could say it's because of the mistreatment that Jill did and the illogical sinful actions that she did while in a relationship with me. Although the woman before her didn't, the woman after her did repeat the same thing but in a different sense. You wanna keep on blue pilling for Jill even though you're married to her? That's your right. I'll support that even as an advocate. But the basic fact is she will eventually do you wrong if she hasn't already without you knowing. Even if she has done you wrong, but fucking bullshitted her way through by saying it's the other dude's fault, when really it's not. I'm telling you the truth because I respect you, Chris Yeaman. We males must stick together as bros, even if we are not too sure about each other, in the sense of brotherhood, especially. As John Lennon says, give peace a chance. We gotta let our macho crap be put aside and be and join hands in the sense of going against the feminist bullshit that have done many other men wrong and yet will do you wrong eventually. And yes, I know, Chris Yeaman, you may think it's a judgment and wrongful action, vocal and what have you else, but guaranteed, if Jill ever decided to divorce you, she would be able to and take you for everything you have. And daddy government would white knight for her left and right, up and down, every which way, even little bits of in the center. Trust me, if you want to know more of what she's done while in a relationship with me, just let me know. Chris Yeaman. I'll tell you the truth. Chris Dixon, actually, I should say. Really sorry, Chris Dixon. Jill Yeaman has done these things. Chris Dixon, I'm serious. I'm being honest with you, and I would never lie to you. I haven't lied to you when I met with you and talked with you both face to face as well as on the phone many years ago. And I'm going to still be straightforward and honest with you. And I've been honest with you even on this video. We men need to stick together and go against the feminist bullshit. So we men are put into the points where shit goes our way like it's supposed to. Even when it pertains to daddy government. This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Live long and prosper. Stay strong. Stay self-assured. Do not cohabitate with the feminist female. You can cohabitate with your sister or niece or mother. Family is always important. The MGTOW brothers cannot escape that. Family is always important. But outside the family, do not cohabitate with the feminist female. Do not. You can choose go to the points of not associating with the feminist female, or even if you do associate with the feminist female, even while working. But do not allow them to get to your resources. Don't lend them money. Don't fall in for their sob stories. Don't do anything, because that's exactly what they want. They want you to fall in for their sob stories, and feel sorry for them, and pay and go to the points of pain, essentially believing everything they say versus what's really the truth. Stay strong. Stay self-assured. Build up your income. Stay free from feminism. MGTOW for life. Have a good day, and may Heavenly Father bless each and every one of you, future and current MGTOW brothers.